Rah! Wonder Woman!
What a nice surprise!
Hello and welcome to TV. My name is Dennis.
And I'm Wonder Kuma, and today we're gonna review Wonder Woman, the latest DC installment by the director Patty Jenkins, who is actually not too much experienced in full-length feature films.
Yeah, she might not be that experienced, but with Wonder Woman she made one of the best DC movies since Christopher Nolan's run with Batman.
That's for sure.
I mean, just think about the latest DC movies like Man of Steel, Green Lantern,
Holy shit!
Batman vs Superman.
Martha!
That's the one. You don't even want to get started with Suicide Squad. Let's take them all and throw them in the trash can, and that's where they truly belong.
In short, DC movies failed to deliver in previous years, which makes Wonder Woman a far more refreshing experience since in terms of quality value, it's more like recent Marvel movies. That means it's a really good movie that's highly enjoyable to watch in the theater, while probably not turning into an instant classic within movie history.
I'm absolutely agreeing with you on that. But let's get to the basic story first. The spy, Captain Steve Trevor, played by Chris Pine, is being chased by German soldiers when he accidentally crash lands on the secret island of Themyscira, where he ultimately gets rescued by the beautiful princess Diana, better known as Wonder Woman.
Since her childhood, Diana, who was played by the beautiful Gal Gadot, was told that it's the duty of her Amazonians to end the war of all wars. And when eventually Captain Trevor told her about the horrors of the World War I, especially the evil deeds of General Ludendorff and Dr. Poison, she pretty much immediately decides to follow him back to England to fulfill her duty.
So much for the basic storyline. Generally said, the whole depiction of Wonder Woman feels a lot more organic and natural in contrast to the DC movies we just mentioned. The first half has a more comedic and humorous approach to introduce us in the whole Wonder Woman world, where the second half gets a far more serious tone and is filled with a lot more action. But yeah, the comedic elements at times feel a little bit cringeworthy.
You mean like the sexual tension between Steve and Diana that leads to a couple of sex/penis jokes?
Yeah, alright.
Obvious little hints to a stereotypical behavior by here. I just say, baby!
Yeah, well, those are exactly the ones. But hey, they did their job, they made us laugh, so they're okay.
I guess so.
However, what I liked about this half comedy, half action approach is that it presents plenty of room for character growth. At first, we get to know the characters as normal human beings, with whom we can identify with and we can root for, before we get into the whole action thing.
When we're talking about characters, I simply have to mention that I felt more sympathy towards the supporting characters, like the secretary that we knew from the trailers, are those three guys that accompanied Steve and Diana on the battlefield, rather than the actual lead roles. Don't get me wrong, Diana and Steve, they were rock solid and entertaining characters, but those three guys added the little something to the movie and they were hilarious while doing so. But on the other hand, General Ludendorff and Dr. Poison were a lot more one-dimensional. They were the bad guys, so they do evil stuff. And that's pretty much it, which bothered me not too much during the movie, but it's a kind of a shame, considering they belong to the main antagonists.
A real shame. Well, visually, I really like the movie. There's really not that much to say about it. Besides maybe, in the final battle the CGI looked a little bit fishy.
What? I have no idea what you mean.
Well, I'm not even 100% sure myself, but I have this picture in my mind that there was something not alright, but I don't know.
Well, what I do know is that they seriously overused slow motion shots. They looked awesome, but the problem was they lacked impact when used multiple times in every fight. It was slow-mo shot after slow-mo shot after slow-mo shot.
So much slow-mo shots.
All the freaking time.
Just one thing before we come to an end. There were quite a lot of logic errors throughout the movie.
Dude, it's a comic book movie. A freaking comic book movie. It is destined to have logic errors.
Yeah, and I usually don't mind that. But especially that church scene where Diana jumps into a church-like building through a window and the entire thing immediately collapsed. I mean, I could understand if the building was somehow fragile, which doesn't seem to be the case, or if she would have jumped through a wall, which she didn't do either. But the entire thing just collapsed. I don't understand how this is physically possible.
Seriously? That's what bothered you the most? I think the scene with the hidden sword inside the blue dress was way more troublesome. First of all, it's hard to hide a sword in such a tight dress, and even if she somehow manages that, judging from the length of the sword, she got to hide it between her butt cheeks, which is kind of weird.
It is.
And what makes matters even worse is when she dances with General Ludendorff and he has his hand precisely on the sword. And he doesn't seem to notice.
Enough of that. How would you rate the movie?
I give it 3 golden turtle shells. Simply because the villains could have been more compelling and the slow motion effects were highly abused. And those little logic flaws were a little bit off-putting at times.
Yeah, alright. Still, I would give it 3.5 golden turtle shells. Of course, there are these things you just mentioned, but I really enjoyed watching this movie, which was pretty long by the way, and still it somehow managed to keep me engaged the entire time. Plus, it gives me new hope for the future DC movies, especially in Justice League. So I keep my fingers crossed and hope that they can keep up this level of quality.
Cross your fingers! Oh man, my fingers are not long enough to cross. Help me! Oh yeah, cross your fingers!
Cross.
Yay!
Crisscross.
So, if you liked what you've seen, give us a like and hit the subscribe button down here. No, seriously, down here. You're one click away. One click.
And as always, if you have seen the movie, let us know in the comment section below what you thought about it, and we see us next time for a new movie review.
Ba-dum, ba-dum, bum, pow. Wow.
Stop it. Just stop it.
Wow. No,